and welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship for StarCraft 2. We have just 8 players left now in the tournament, and of course, it is $100,000 winner takes all. Before we get into our next match of the quarterfinals, our first match of the quarterfinals, let's take a look at the brackets so that you can see exactly how these 8 men went through to the quarterfinals. Right at the top of your screen, CJ enters herO, double winner of the season. He takes on San in our first game. Time now to introduce our first 2 players of the quarterfinals. I already mentioned he is a double back-to-back winner of Intel Extreme Masters already, a record breaker. Can he go one further and win the big prize? Let's find out with CJ enters herO. And he goes head-to-head against the man he has already played and defeated once before, but can he get some revenge? Please welcome, from Yo Flash Wolves, San! Okay, we have our players. They're about to get into the map vetoes. It's time to get the collective thoughts of our experts within control.
Thank you, Red Eye. We got ourselves an excellent PvP. Artosis.
Yes.
Who do you have winning this and why?
Dude, I gotta go with San. Okay. I know that herO's beaten him before. herO has, I see Todd's very upset by this, because he does take my opposite, so.
Who stretched out ahead in the last set of bettings with you guys?
We actually agreed on this because we're both the best predictors, so we both moved on.
You both picked life?
I'm 8-0, he's 7-1.
Yeah. Okay. I'm better than 50-50 now, guys.
Good. Sick.
It's good. That's more than
that happens sometimes. Sometimes the community gets more than 50-50 too.
In many sports arenas, if you're doing better than 50-50, you're doing really well. Like if you bat 500 in baseball, you're a Hall of Famer. You're doing really, really well.
Oh, wow, yeah. And you know what? For Todd's sake, if you're playing golf, low scores are good.
That's actually a really good point. Oh. In some areas, he is not the worst. Alterum Stronghold's the first one out in a PvP. I can see this. Yeah. Nobody likes, I mean, there's a lot of variance in PvP, but of course on those larger maps, that variance only intensifies, gets worse.
Well, map we're going to see herO get rid of here, though. I wonder.
I'm going to go with Frost. I think Frost.
You think Frost?
I was. Yeah, I was actually picking the same. Yeah, Frost too.
How come, Apollo?
It's full play map.
No thoughts, just you agree?
That's some really good reasoning right there.
God, I can't wait. Whoop. All right, Habitation Station to kick things off, PvP. Very Stargate friendly.
Yes, indeed.
A lot of times you'll see Phoenix versus Phoenix. Sometimes the Oracle dance in there a little bit.
See on map number 2 what he wants to go for. You know, it is PvP, so the map order.
I always love how giggly the Koreans are when they're picking votes or maps. You can't tell if they're laughing at the other guy or if they just think it's funny in general.
herO's adorable, by the way.
He is adorable.
He's an adorable guy.
I would date the crap out of him if I could, if it was not frowned upon. It's because we work within the same gaming industry. You can't do that.
No,
you don't want to do that. Yeah. Heavy Rain is the number 2 map. Very Blink-friendly map. Seems kind of straightforward so far. Polar Knight, Yansu, and rounding things out with Daedalus Point. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think the map order is that big a deal. There's not so much we can look into other than what their personal mindsets might be on the maps for the mirror matchup.
I do think Habitation's interesting. At least, I don't know. In Korea, is the Stargate still as prevalent in PvP as it is everywhere else?
Yeah, I mean, it's Stargate or Twilight almost every time. On certain maps like Polar Knight and stuff, we oftentimes do see a fast expand. Frost as well. But oftentimes into the Stargate or Blink.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like with a Nexus mixed
That'll
in
happen.
I'm getting away confident he's in the semifinals first, Jeff.
You think so?
Yep.
So actually, that's interesting. Let's talk about that. So we got herO up here first. Listening to you guys do a wonderful job broadcasting yesterday. One of the terms I think Claire's the first to say, but it's been definitely a very true statement about him, is that he's playing like a man on fire. He's won the, what is it? He's in the top 8 of GSL right now.
Yep.
He's won the 2 previous IEMs.
Yep.
And here he is, once again, doing very well for himself. Can San stop him? I mean, what do you say about herO?
Well, herO, he's just so strong. He
really
his
well
play is one of it's one of the best Protoss plays I've ever seen. It's
really
like
that high.
He sends out his scouting hallucinated Phoenix in like every matchup. He just reconfirms that he's about to kill you. Like he knows what you're doing. he double checks, and he always has perfect responses.
So you put him up there with the rain and the parting. When they were dominating, he's up there with them?
His play level is very similar to theirs.
So top five world right now, herO?
For Protoss, yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's really high acclaims. Okay, so Apollo, you agree with this?
I agree. Especially in the form that he's in right now. If that form starts to drop off, then I think we have to reconsider. But like you said, in his last 3 tournaments, with one still out playing, 2 first-place finishes and a top 8. And he's already in the top 8 here as well.
He doesn't seem to have a weak matchup is kind of a nice thing for him. It's not like he's getting lucky and drawing his best matchup. It seems to be in all 3 matchups he's equally solid.
And he's very good in PvP, and he's used a lot in Pro League to play PvPs too for CJ. So,
well, I guess every Protoss is used a lot in Pro League for PvPs.
That's right, man. There is a lot of PvP happening there right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about San. San is a guy who I feel like, if you go back, I don't know the exact time frame, but let's say 5 or 6 months, he was one of the highly touted up-and-coming Protoss players. A lot of people were thinking this is one of the next big dragons. But as it is right now, well, I mean, right now he's very good, but he's kind of fallen off for a while. He got a little bit quiet, not winning big tournaments, I would say.
Yeah, not always. You know, his play is kind of funny. If you look at it, like his PVZ, he is still doing that old Nanoab build, the 4-gate after expand, like basically every time, and for some reason it always works when he does it. But the thing is, when you're very stylistic in that regard, you're going to have ups and downs for sure.
Now, in the PvP matchup, Apollo, this is a bit of a different beast. San has in the past been not necessarily a PvP sniper, but certainly one of the players that people look to see what to do in PvP. I think of like him and SOS and a couple of other guys. Does he have what it takes to take out herO here?
Yes, absolutely, especially considering his games yesterday in PvP 2. He played really well, very clean, minimal mistakes. Absolutely has what it takes to beat herO. But I don't know if he will.
You know, those PvPs against MC were some of the best that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That San, like, perfect execution, perfect decision making. He played MC like a fiddle. He made him do what he wanted to do. He knew the reactions that MC had to take to the moves he was making and prepared for those perfectly. It was just so good that I had to go with San here.
It's going to be an absolutely amazing PvP either way. I've been really enjoying the matchup as of late. I think it's gotten away from being very fixated on 1 or 2 things. Like even earlier, Artosis, you were saying it's either Stargate or Twilight Council. I like that even. Both of those have a lot of options off it. We see Dark Shrines off that Twilight Council. We see a lot of Blink, obviously. And often, actually, we're seeing both right now. It's kind of weird. People are doing like a 1 DT opener with the fast Blink follow-up. So let's do predictions real quick. Artosis, who you got winning?
San. I'm going with San here.
Okay. Bold pick, I think. Apollo, you've got herO?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think it could be split down the middle. Let's take a look at the predictions from everybody here, if we can pull that up real quick. I know the community's getting involved. If you want to get involved, if you're just tuning in right now, go to facebook.com/IEM, and you can be a part of the masses and field your predictions. There we go. 67% to herO. And I agree with Artosis. I picked San as well. If we are right, this is a monumental moment in the brain trust of StarCraft 2 because it sets me apart from Apollo. I think it makes me smarter than him. If that
For sure, that would make you smarter than him.
I agree.
That's what you think, but I will always sound better than you through my accent and sound smarter than you.
Actually true.
Well, that's because you're British. That has nothing
That's not even fair, though. That's not how we do things.
What did Rhett go for? But I mean, what did Todd go for?
Oh, Todd picked herO. You're screwed. Damn. Look at the 2. Oh, no, wait. Kalaris joined with us. Now I'm a little bit worried here, too.
Uh-oh.
This gets worrisome.
I mean, the players has got to get lucky sometimes, right?
How often are the viewers wrong?
Most 50%
of the time or so?
It's the opposite of the service industry. Todd has a 0F's face on right now. They're ready to cast. Gentlemen and ladies and everybody else out there, I appreciate you tuning in. We're having a good time here. Hopefully you are as well. Let's throw it over to the commentators so they can talk some actual sense. Kalaris and Todd.
Thanks very much, guys. Welcome to the Caster's Desk here for yet another PvP with myself and Todd as we get right on into this. I was at opposite ends. I couldn't it was a very hard time for me to decide between herO and San because I will admit I'm a big herO fan, but...
Really? Oh, wait. Weren't you at the last 2 Intel Extreme Masters that herO played in?
Yeah, I was. And I did see how good his PvP was, but I'm going to go with San on this one. I think that, you know, after seeing him play yesterday, it was very impressive.
You were here in Singapore, right, when San and herO played?
Yeah, I may have been, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He did take the first 2 maps, but then it kind of didn't go so well from there.
Apparently that's enough for you to make up your mind, okay.
All right, Habitation Station is our first map. We're already getting loaded into this. And you're saying herO. You're saying herO with this one.
I would go with herO here. Even though, yes, I guess San has shown good things so far in this tournament. You know, this morning when I came here, Life was warming up, and I asked him, so how is it going? How are you feeling? And he's like, very good, like very enthusiastically.
Oh, wow.
And then he had a great performance against herO. I saw herO actually watching the VODs from yesterday, MC versus San, and I asked him, how are you doing as well? And he said, good. So if the trend continues here, we might see a dominant performance again.
We certainly may do. All right, let's get into our first round of 8 series of the day for the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. As we have spawning up to the top right-hand corner are red Protoss. Representing CJ Entus, give it up for herO. And to the top left-hand corner are blue Protoss, representing Yo Flash Wolves. Give it up for San.
herO is doing something you don't usually see in this matchup. He's scouting after his pylon at 9, and San is going for a 10 gates. So he's actually, maybe herO has realized, we talked about this before.
Yeah.
He's realized, if I scout and I know what my opponent's doing, I never lose. So why not?
Exactly.
He goes for the very, very quick scout. He's going to know immediately what he's up against.
Ooh.
He can start deciding what he goes for to try and counter this. And this is... Oh, he's going to go for the podcast.
Will he have the minute? He's trying to fight it. He's actually blocking still, right?
Yeah, he's going to delay it quite a bit, but overall, this wasn't successful. Like herO, he should definitely cancel the auto gas, especially... Does he realize now that this is a gateway 10?
He must do. I mean, he has
to be careful not to underestimate this strategy.
Like the gas steal that he went for, it delayed his gateway even a little bit more, right? So you've got to be very careful with this.
He wasted a little bit of money by letting this gas finish, but he's going to have a lot of information out of it. And now see, San has already changed his plan. He's used his chrono boost on his Nexus. He's like, you know what, this is not going to work. I might as well change my plan. Oh, the probe is going to steal a lot of minerals and gas here.
Yeah, just constantly bouncing between those, trading minerals for gas. Not the most economical of positions there, but unfortunately, San's going to get the worst end of it. And now behind that, herO, his Cybernetics core is only just about to start, while Sans is about to finish. That's a massive, massive difference.
Yeah, and herO is doing 3+3 already. I really like his position. San has a much earlier Cybernetics core, but how is it going to matter?
Yeah.
He could, I guess you could say he wants to take earlier, but how? Without gas. You need gas when your Cybernetics core finishes, especially on this map. We're going to want to go for something like a Stargate, maybe. Here already on 3+3, we could be seeing a Stargate out of him.
It certainly could be. And that Mothership core is about to finish for San. It can fly over there and maybe poke around, but by the time it gets over there, a Stalker should have started and will be able to push that away eventually. Meanwhile, Probe gets in, has a look around, and sees the Stalker started as well. So for now, he's in a bit of an odd spot. I've got to say, a very, very strange opener to this first game.
Yeah. I'm a little bit surprised that San didn't make... Oh, look, now he's pulling probes to attack that gas in his base.
Wow.
He's like, man, I really need gas. I'm surprised he didn't chrono boost out 2 Zealots to really get rid of this as soon as possible. This is quite bad of a situation for him here. Now his Mothership core is going to reach herO's base, but there is a Stalker about to come out.
So funny how that happens. Like, he needs the gas, but he loses a load of mineral mining time as well whilst killing that off with the probes. So it's real knock-on effects here that have been executed by herO. Meanwhile, trying to kill off this Mothership core where he can. Doesn't actually have energy to recall, so he has to be very, very careful with that. Just get away.
Gonna have enough in a second, but herO actually made his target just right below the Mothership core. He doesn't even care that his opponent knows. You know why? Because he has so much more gas than his opponent. He's mined so much more gas by taking his 2 gases earlier that he's gonna be able to get... He basically already won the Phoenix battle, so he knows that his opponent's not gonna go into Phoenixes. So from there, herO can already start preparing for Blink or Robo... Well, probably not Robo against his target, but whatever he might be up against, which usually is going to be Blink. Yeah. And in this case, he even goes for an Oracle, realizing that there is no way San will try and go for Phoenixes in this situation because he's too far behind on gas.
And unfortunately for herO, he wasn't able to get in there and see those 2 gateways going down. He was just barely off.
That's actually some sick meta game that we're seeing here. Doing the Oracle, this is really, really insane. I wonder if San realizes. I wonder if he clicked on this target or if he just assumed his Phoenixes.
Well, he has to have gone in there. I mean, that Mothership core was able to spot that the Oracle was warping in, so that's very, very good information for him. He can put his Stalkers in the right positions to block that off. And then from there on, herO might not use this directly. He actually looks as if he's using it for a little bit of a scout around the main.
Oh, he had to recall. San had to recall with his Mothership core. He made sure there was no expansion started out of his opponent is actually warped in quite a few units across the map.
And there's still only 1 gateway's worth of production, so this is kind of a scary spot here for herO.
Yeah.
He does have to be very, very careful about this. Thankfully for him, though, he does have Force and Overcharge. That'll buy him quite a lot of time. Certainly doesn't want to lose the Mothership core.
Yeah, and behind he's going for Blink. This is pretty cool what we're seeing here out of herO.
All right, he's got 4 workers.
Yeah, this is pretty nice of a position. He's getting Blink almost as fast as San, even though he opens Target and went for an Oracle. Dark Shrine is gonna go down.
Oh dear. That really makes me feel that San is in a very uncomfortable spot here with how things have gone, especially after he just saw an Oracle fly in and try and tase away a few of his
so close. He's gonna see it for sure.
He'll just dive back in there and eventually try and spot that out, and it probably will do.
Yeah, I really don't understand that move. You are against herO, the guy that scouts everything and that reacts perfectly. He has an Oracle right next to your base.
Oh, look.
And you're gonna make a Dark Shrine out of all the things.
And he even finds a little bit of room to kill off a few probes as well. This is a really good start here for herO in game number 1. But San, I can't help but feel he's kind of gifted him all of these positions.
Yeah. You know, herO, he was getting a Force Gateway, which he just cancelled. He made a Robo. I think he was thinking about maybe doing a 4 gates plus Oracle to have detection, but then he realized I cannot have detection across the map and back in my base. So I have to get the Robo. So he made the Robo and then canceled the Force Gateway. He's cut pro production for now. So I think he's basically going to be aggressive with his Blink Stalkers, thinking, well, knowing he's going to have more. And he's going to leave the Oracle until he has Observer back at home, the Mothership core. And once he has an Observer, he's going to be perfectly safe against DTs. He's just in a good position overall in this game, even though supply is dead even.
I think in the end, I mean, we have a probe on patrol there for him to throw down a Nexus if he wants to, but catching these Stalkers is a really big deal. Right now, the numbers on those is 12-9. It was previously 9-9 up until the point where that warping got caught off, and he warped an extra as well. So, and he did cancel the Dark Shrine, knowing that it wouldn't be effective. That's very, very important here, Sam.
He didn't even have a pylon across the map.
Nope. And that's getting around with that. The Observer's on the way. But right now, herO could happily just sit around and take an expansion of his own and really feel no pressure from San.
Yeah, San is reading this very, very well as well. He sent a Zealot to make sure there was no expansion started. He went into the main. He saw the Robo. And he knows exactly where he's at right now in this game. And I think he's probably going to expand himself in a second after he has his first Immortal. Man, it's 10 minutes mark, and so much has already happened. These players really trying to outdo each other, but in the end, 10 minutes in, like dead even supply.
We saw almost every tech from them on one base across the board with the Stargate, Twilight Council and Robo facility. And now from here on out, it's just Immortals to hold on to that Nexus for herO whilst San is being nicely contained, very well contained.
I'm surprised he's being this defensive though. He's playing a little bit scared.
Yeah,
that's how you call this. He's overestimating the army of herO, because he had more Stalkers and he had 1 Immortal, so he could have moved down the ramp a little bit earlier.
Always got to be scared of sentries though, right? Like maybe 1 or 2 if they just warped him for a force field or so, because he didn't have anything to crush it. Oh no, he has Blink, you're right though. He has Blink, so yeah, he can easily negate that as well.
Oh, the Immortal!
Oh, way caught out of position. Nice pickup there for herO.
What the hell? Well, what was he doing here?
He was leading it down the bottom to try and look for pylons, I think. But in the end, the Stalkers got way overzealous and moved on forwards before it.
You know what's really cool by herO is that he's kept his Oracle alive. He just went inside the main of San a second ago, he forced the Photon Charge and then got out of here again. So he's basically keeping his opponent hostage in his base, which is always an ideal scenario, because that means you can do whatever you want on your side of the map. You can take a little bit greedier, make more probes, and it's some really cool play we're seeing out of both of these players, but I would still give a slight edge to herO. See, he started +1 much earlier as well.
Yeah, the power of keeping the Oracle alive is so strong. And now herO, with his base set up and good to go, whilst San is trailing in that forest, just trying to get that up and running where he can after spotting his opponents with his Observer. This is a really rough spot for him. He's going to have to try and do something, but it's going to have to do a lot.
herO has to be careful here. We have some sentries by San if he overextends against Guardian Shield, but I'm sure he will not. He spotted that pylon down there, so gonna be able to take this out as well. And you have to feel for San. It really feels like a lot of a lot of the things that happen in the game really don't go his way, but it's really herO forcing those situations, those difficult situations out of him.
Yeah, I think that San in this series, if he's going to win it, he's not got to do anything tricky. He's got to play textbook, straight down the line, and try and beat his opponent out in the mid-game, but he knows his opponent's so good there as well, so it's really going to come down to the wire. Nice pickup of that Oracle, though, after 2 kills.
But he used Revelation already on the main base, so herO basically sees everything. If you look at his vision, he knows that there is a forge. He even sees the Robo Bay being thrown down in the back of the main.
Oh, wow.
I wonder if he can actually click on it or know that this is it. I guess he can anticipate. You see, this is the standard PvP. When you go into Blink, then you get Immortals. A lot of the time, you're going to go into Colossus. It's either Colossus or High Templar, but in this situation, they've already got so many Blink Stalkers that I think it will be bad to go into Charge Loss and High Templars, just because they have this many Blink Stalkers. So in this situation, you will almost always see Colossus transition out of the players, or an all-in.
And especially since there's good chokes on here to be able to shut things down. Time Warp's obviously a big factor in these Colossi wars, but it entirely depends on the initial army positioning in general, as we now have a few Immortals actually coming out once again for San here, whilst he just gets that Robo Bay up.
That's basically that summarizes herO's gameplay. He sends in an hallucination, which he gets a lot of information out of, and he knows exactly what it... Oh, wow!
Oh!
Fleet Beacon!
On 2
I
base?
have never seen this. I have never seen this. You know, if you get Colossus yourself and you're facing an opponent on only Charge Lots, Archon, and Immortals, you're only really scared about like maybe if you overmake Colossus and he has Tempest, but in this case he knows that he's up against Colossus, so what he's gonna try to do is probably get something like 3 Tempest out, in which case he snipes the Colossus in 2 volleys of his opponent.
But with the extra 5 gateways as well, it really looks like he's setting himself up with the 3rd base to eventually transition to it a snap of a finger. Very quick, really try and catch San off guard. But where is the Observer? Did it just see the Fleet Beacon? I think it may have done.
San is going to have to make a choice on how he tries and counter this. I think a good thing that San could do right now is get a Templar Archives, stay on 2 base, and if herO takes a 3rd, San just gets Mass Zealots, Archons, and he just all-ins. But he thinks differently. He's getting a ton of... Look at how many Stalkers he has, 20 to 12. He just swapped in a lot of Stalkers just now, and I think he's going to keep on doing so.
And he has the Immortal lead as well, which is a big factor in this. Noticeably, herO hasn't thrown down a 3rd base yet, feels a little bit too constricted, knows his opponent's army size is probably quite strong, but at the same time, he is also now throwing it down.
I think he's hoping that there is a 3rd base. And sadly for him, that's not the case.
He sees the setup going, but aside from that, there's really not much there to... He can't break up that ramp, I really don't think. Can he? There's no way. With that Tempest there and that firepower and the choke.
Photon Overcharge and all that.
He's actually going to try, though. Throws up the Guardian's Shield. This is a bad spot to actually walk into. That's a lot of Zealots at the front. They don't have charge, though. That Force Field will actually zone them out quite heavily. 79 army supply to 74 as he tries to break this location, but that 3 Colossi number is just dishing out too much damage in that small area.
Oh, wow. herO's doing this so well. He cannot chase, so he shoots from afar. He's actually going to go for it.
Oh, blinks down. Will he be able to actually deal with this? That's a really good concave on the Stalkers, but still herO has significant army supply advantage. It's mostly in those 3 Colossi, though, as well as the Tempest. There you go, GG. San takes the gamble to try and break him, and it is unsuccessful.
Okay, as good as I think my PvP analysis is, when casting this guy, he's actually bad, because he knows the game so much better than me. I was like, he shouldn't chase, and then he moves down the ramp, and he wins the game. He just ends it. herO really knows when to take fights and when not to, and it's actually quite scary, because with personally, all the experience I have and all the games that I've played, I would never think that you should chase in this situation, but he identifies when he has to fight, how he has to fight, how he has to take the fight, set up a concave. You know, he blinked down the Stalkers, he had all of the Zealots in front, the positioning was perfect, and he knew he had exactly enough to make sure he could win that fight. He didn't wait for more Tempest, he didn't wait for San maybe to take the gold and come back or something. He just went for it, and this guy is so scary.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, San's win streak against Protoss in the Intel Extreme Masters includes people like MC, who we saw him in the final. We saw him play against Deer as well during qualifiers. People like Sora and San, who he's playing right now. And taking out all of these guys and having something crazy, really impressive stats. He's won 8 PvPs and lost 1 during the Intel Extreme Masters. That's a good ratio. That's a very good ratio. He just shows absolute mastery across the board, be it in the early game when he's greeting aggression, be it putting on aggression himself, or just moving it into the mid game and playing a stable game from there.
Yeah, herO, man, he's
the all-round package.
I'm a little bit starstruck.
He makes it look easy as well. Like, I mean, obviously there's a lot of moves that he's doing that are subtle, but the fact that he has good information all the time with Hallucinated Phoenix is something that is so valuable to a player like herO.
He can do a lot of different things too. It's not even like he plays standard and he does it really well, like somebody like Rain would do. He just mixes it up so well. I would say he plays a lot with Blink Stalkers though. Overall, he always seems to, in every game that he plays in, he always gets some Blink Stalkers and tries to make most out of them.
All right, well, let's get into game number 2 now, as herO takes a 1-0 lead. He is looking for a triple Intel Extreme Masters Championship, but he's got to go through the round of 8, then the round of 4 before he can even get close to that. As we have spawning up to the top left, our red Protoss representing CJ Entus. Give it up for herO. Down to the bottom as our blue Protoss. Oh dear me. Representing Yo Flash Wolves, give it up for San.
Now San, there is a chance you might think he just cannot stand up to heroes. That's why he tries this. But against somebody as solid as herO that sees everything, we actually saw a quite failed proxy attempt yesterday. So I'm expecting no less than a similar scenario here, even though if you see this a little bit late, and even if you react well, you can take a lot of damage. So we'll see if herO scouts after his gateway.
I think from game number 1 to game number 2, though, Sam doing this. Is he actually not going to go?
Not yet.
Okay. But Sam...
You know, I think this is actually pretty bad right now for herO.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to... He's going to go down the ramp.
I can't believe he's not scouting in base. I really can't.
On this map, this is... It's a must.
You scout left and right in your main base, and then left most importantly because of the pathing through to there, and it's the normal place.
You know, there is so much metagaming going into this. Like, herO probably watched all of San's VODs, and he's like, you know what, this guy never ever proxies. Why should I even scout it? I'm just gonna lose money for nothing if I do. And San... Lots of... What? Are you kidding me? This is like the worst possible scenario right now for herO.
Yeah.
He wants to proxy a Stargate, and this is going to be bad news.
And he's saving up all his gas for that. He's not going to have any units down.
That actually makes sense. Like, he didn't scout in his main because he was going to go for this. Like, when you go for this, you just hope your opponent's playing standard and then you catch him off guard. But in this case, he's the one who's going to be caught off guard.
Yep, this one catches him just a little bit earlier. There's already 1 Zealot out. There's going to be 3 very soon. And once those march on in, it's going to be very, very difficult to hold on against. Even the probe is going to come along for a little bit of zapping action to try and do some damage to these probes.
Yeah, herO, yes, he has to be looking at the Zealots in disbelief right now. This is as much of a build order win as you're ever going to see.
He has no units. He's going to try and get the Mothership Core out quickly, but even if he does, the Zealots are still going to tank that Mothership Core for a long, long time.
Yeah. He cannot even get the Stalker.
Yeah, he had to pull off the mineral line, so he really had very, very little minerals in total. There goes the pylon. Mothership Core's out, but now what do? You have no money to do anything.
He's going to do a probe rush.
Go probes, go probes.
Apparently, Teja's not the only one who was inspired by Naniwa.
Seemingly, yeah. Well, 1 Zealot's going to fall, and then from there on out, it's just Zealots, Zealots, Zealots. This is a good execution by San, and a large oversight shown here by herO going into the game number 2.
herO even has his probe across the map that he forgot about, but not even going to matter in this situation. I guess he could get Photon Overcharge at some point, but those Zealots, they're going to keep on doing damage, and behind this, we already have a Cybernetics core being made. Sanas is going to have enough gas to start at least 1 Stalker, maybe a second one behind this. There's no way. Okay, if herO wins this, well, I'll do whatever you ask me to. Like, I'll switch race. Okay?
Switch race?
I'll play Zerg from now.
Wow, that's a bold statement. But to be fair to herO, he's keeping his probes alive well, but San has such a lead behind this. He has an economy that's been going for the past couple of minutes. He's got his Cybernetics core finished. He could add on anything he wants to. Once a first Stalker, 1 or 2 Stalkers come out from here, from San, that really is the nail in the coffin. There's very little for herO to combat against that.
Yeah, he's going to try to go for the pylon, but there's already 1 Stalker out, which is going to force the Photon Overcharge very, very quickly here. herO starts the Stalker. he's managed this quite well. He's still losing. I still think there's no way he's going to win, but he's made most of the situation given how bad it was looking.
Yeah, an impressive hold, but still, San now with a significant lead. Warp Gate Tech starts.
I think upon scanning his opponent's base, he just GG's out now.
Yeah, with the pro, it's difficult to really come back from. Sees the Warp Gate Tech on its way. Sees that there is a rising stock count behind him.
Does that barrack have a reactor as a pylon or something? That's gateway?
It's queued up, man.
Double stalker, man.
It's good to go. Queued up. He needs those out quickly. He's not powering that Cyber Dent score anytime soon, but he really needs to to actually get that Warp Gate Tech out. But even then, you know, you're not going to be able to use that anytime in this game before your opponent's going to kill you anyway. As San is just killing off the mothership core. Probes come off the line to try and deal with this as well, but San with a great little execution of this two-gate play, focusing down the Stalkers, showing where it really matters. He's probably going to be able to tie up the series very quickly. This is going to be difficult for herO to hold on against. There you go, GG. San ties it at 1-1 here in this best of 5.
And what a way to tie it up.
Yeah,
this was not a real game. This was not real. It was just a dream.
I was fully expecting him to scout out in his main, but in the end, that was not the case. So, oh well. It's 1-1 apiece now. San, it gets down and eliminated back to a best of 3 with 2 games in hand there to kind of think about your opponent's strategies, etc.
You know, I've always found it funny, people who say that. It's like it's 2-2. It is now best of 1, guys.
Best of 1.
Well, I guess you could say that, but there is so much metagame.
Exactly.
From game to game, you learn so much about your opponent, and I'm pretty sure that on 2 players map, we're going to be on Polar Night, herO is going to scout for proxies.
Yes.
He has to.
Like, you're right, though. It's a fleeting statement, and that's why I do draw back to those past 2 games, because you always have to be taking those into consideration. Against, especially in a PvP, where there is a lot possible, and the momentum can swing very, very greatly in your favor. We saw that in these 2 players in Singapore.
You know what will be the sickest metagame? If San does what herO did last game, and herO scouts for proxies, and then goes back home. So it sees nothing, and he doesn't know about the proxy's target, and then just the Oracle flies in. And
because in theory, San never spotted that pylon down to the south. He didn't know that was his opponent's plan. He may have been able to anticipate it because of the gas income, and it's like, why are there no units, etc.
Like, he got in the main, there was nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
No second pylon, nothing. It's like, well, what was happening there? You are trying to get cheeky with me, but I did it first.
All right, let's get into game number 3 now. herO and San in this best of 5. 1-1 apiece, looking to advance on to the round of 8. Both fantastic Protoss players duking it out. Our Intel Extreme Masters Singapore finalists and champion, obviously. Spawning down to the south position as our red Protoss, representing CJ Entus. Give it up for herO! And up to the north, our blue Protoss, representing your Flash Wolves, tying it up 1-1 apiece. Give it up for San!
Yeah, this is actually a rematch, but this has already gone very differently than last time that they played. Last time it was 2-0 for San, and then was turned around by herO, who won 4-2. Was a best of 7, this time it's best of 5. 1-1. Winning the next game going to be very important here.
Yeah.
I would say, especially for San, because if herO wins the next game, I just don't see how San comes back from there.
Yeah,
I could see herO come back, but San coming back from a deficit in score, really, really hard. Look at this, the pro. It's scouted so much.
Yeah. Dude, you're right, though. In a 1-1 situation in a best of 5, the third game can oftentimes be the deal breaker. It really can. herO here, I think he's just going to go proxy that pylon. Now that I look at this.
Yeah, he's... what?
He's like, well, it didn't work that time.
He's like, there is no way he's going to do it twice. And he actually, you know what's funny? He didn't even scout for in-base proxies.
Yeah, he didn't.
herO. There could be 2 gateways here. He's like, you know what? It's not going to happen again. This guy will never dare. In this case, he's going to be right.
You're not going to do it twice in a row, but I'm going to try and do it twice in a row. As San is scouting out for proxy at his natural, but nowhere near the current location of herO. So that's a little bit sad here for San.
Does he go back home? No, he's going to go across the map, so he should be able to realize what he's up against when he sees one pylon.
Yeah.
And that's going to be good news for him. Because if you see one pylon, basically you just get stalkers, you get a new mineral line. It's going to be a proxy target almost all the time, which means either Oracle or Void Race. Void Race is really fast. It's actually pretty hard to hold if you see it late. And if you just going to boost stalkers out of your one gateway, you're going to be fine. And in this case, he even has 2 gateways. So herO, upon being scouted here, definitely has to be unhappy because he has to know his opponent's going to realize what's up. You see Sans looking for that second pylon.
Yeah, and gets a lot of confirmation on the fact that there's only one pylon there. So that's really going to give him a bit more fortitude behind all of this with that mothership core now being added on so he can get photon overcharge out quite quickly.
Actually, Sans didn't put that much effort into looking for that second pylon. He didn't look all the way up inside the main of herO. Both players, they really don't want to go into this area. So he either misread this and he doesn't realize what he's up against, or he understood. And oh, the probe is still hidden out on the map. herO could go for something like DTs behind this. This is a pretty good build. A lot of players use it on Europe, and you go into an Oracle, you kill some probes, and behind this, you
Mothership Core's going to find it.
Yeah, but I mean, does he understand from there what he's up against?
He didn't find it. It was just barely on the edge. Oh, that's not the best of positions, and he's actually sending his probe down to the bottom left-hand corner.
herO's getting the Twilight Council in his main. I think he's going to be DTs.
Yeah.
He could be Blink. I mean, he's gone for Oracle into Blink before, but if he goes for a pylon on the map where he has his probe, throws down the Dark Shrine, are you ever ready? You're playing against a Stargate. Why would you get a Robo? You're probably going to lose some walkers here and there. Look,
this is a crazy little build here. Trying to get a few probes where he can. He's already got 2. We'll have to mosey on out there pretty fast. That's a lot of stalkers able to shut that down. But from there on out, we now have Blink on the way for San. And the Mothership Core does... it sees 2 gateways, but that's about it.
I think this is going to be Blink from herO because he didn't proxy another pylon. Usually when you do this, you proxy another pylon somewhere, or like where he has his probe right now. So I guess that probe's going to be for proxy pylons, but closer to the base of Sand than otherwise, and to warp in stalkers later on to do a follow-up attack.
Really being so aggressive here is herO, and again, this is what we were talking about before. He has a good mind when it comes to the calculation of this aggression.
This is funny. The Mothership Core of Sand came into the main of herO, and he didn't have any units left, and he didn't have Warp Gate because he had it kind of late. So he had to use Photon Overcharge.
Oh, that is quite strange.
What the hell?
Yeah. Well, that will expend a bit of that. And unfortunately, no time warps for him anytime soon if he wants to go for the aggression. Did he just add on a 4th gateway? He did, didn't he? And
he's going to go all in. And
yeah, the Stalkers have found this at the top right as well.
Sand's going for a Robo. Can he get enough Immortals on time? Does he go for an Observer? Because Sand's not sure what he's up against. I mean, he saw the... No, he didn't see the Blink, actually.
Oh, and he
did not see it. I thought he had seen that with his Mothership Core. This might be why he used the Photon Overcharge. The Mothership Core was going to get too close to this. It was going to see it. And herO's like, no, you're not going to see what I'm doing.
But at the same time, he hasn't seen a natural. So he's got to be thinking about what's going on. He has to anticipate some kind of aggression still coming from this position. As he cancelled that pylon down next to the natural. But all in all, because the Mothership Core of herO doesn't have much energy left for Time Warps or anything like that, if we see good Immortal numbers come out from Sand to hold on to it, Time Warp's really good against Immortals in these situations. Yeah. So not having that here could really be a downside.
And I really like the way Sans played this. He sent a probe into the main. He didn't see the Twilight Council, but he saw the amount of Stalkers. So he's like, you know what? I know what you're doing. You're getting Blink Stalkers again behind your Oracle.
Oh, nice.
He's going to get it. Gets revealed, though. And San has adapted so well to what he... Like, so many players would have been full. I would have been full. I would already be dead, basically. Yeah. But San is read perfectly into this. Instead of making Immortals that are going to be really slow, that are not going to shoot a lot of the time against Blink Stalkers, he's made only Blink Stalkers himself. So he's keeping up in the Stalker count. He's just a few Stalkers behind right now. He's ahead on Walkers. He's thrown down his expansion, and he's getting an Immortal. And look, he's sending his Observer across the map. He's going to realize that this is a one base.
Yeah, and all San has to do here is hold on, maybe warp a Zealot at the back with that pylon down at the bottom left-hand corner, send that into his opponent's base, do a little bit of economical damage. He might not be able to save this Nexus, but aside from that...
Oh, he needs the Immortal. He has a Photon Overcharge.
Oh, blinks up, goes for the aggression, and then from there on out, we'll be able to get a pylon. That's actually going to supply block San here, so no more Stalkers to be warped in for now. Has to get out of there, though.
Your PvP must be so good, man. What you just said about the Zealot is like exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah, it's at this point in time, that's all he can do. He's going to have to try and do that. But For now, we have Robo going down for herO as well. He realizes the severity of all of this.
Yeah, and behind this, I think herO's going to go for his own expansion. I don't think he goes for a sentry in a lockdown, just because he's up against Blink. So if he gets sentries, he should be back at home, but maybe, you never know with herO. Maybe the first time I misread.
It's the calculation of control now for
Yeah, he gets the
herO.
sentries back at home, see?
Yep, so he's just going to try and hold on to this Nexus, which is his best bet. But now we also see San actually moving down his ramp and securing his natural position as well. There's really not a whole lot of point here for herO to try and fight against that. There's too much firepower.
You think San goes for an attack? I think he re-expands, most likely.
I think he re-expands. It's going to be difficult to actually put on the pressure. But with that second Immortal also straying into the middle of the map as well, he's actually going to attack that for a second.
Yeah.
He might go with that second Immortal being rallied out like that.
Yeah, herO's getting a little bit too cheeky here. He's actually behind on supply right now. He has to be careful. Oh, he's sent 4 Stalkers around. He's going to go for a counter-attack to snipe probes. And then if he defends back at home, he's going to do so much damage in San's base. But there is almost a photon overcharge up.
Yeah, this is really, really clever here by herO, but because San has 2 sentries in this force, those force fields between the Nexus and that small choke on the right-hand side is a great move if he wants to deny the cancel, but he's losing a lot of probes behind this. This is a really fantastic move here by herO to try and deal with that. He's actually bringing the engagement straight to him. Force field could do a lot, but the Blink will be able to secure that for now. He has to cancel the Nexus, very important here during all of this, and he actually saves one of those Stalkers at the back. He's killed off 16 workers so far. It's 30 to 17.
What? This is ridiculous. This has done so much. Really, I was gonna say, what do you think is next for San? Like a lot of players, they will expand from there, but with 17 probes, is it worth it? He's gonna move up the ramp.
He has to. He absolutely has to. He has to do something. He blinks forwards. He's gonna try and bring down that Immortal as quickly as he possibly can do. That will end up falling. Where are all the units gone? He blinked out with the Stalkers to try and go for a counter-attack, but he needs them at home. Those 2 Immortals are gonna have an absolute field day with those Stalkers if they actually need to come back and try and deal with this. This is gonna be a big, big deal. San now getting himself into a defensive posture. All the probes come off the line. He knows he's in a lot of trouble. And the great force wheel will pin those back. He needs to deal with the Stalkers or the probes before actually dealing with the second half of this army. Blinks forwards aggressively, saves one of his Immortals. One of them did end up falling though. And now herO trying to hold on against this. It's so close, so down to the wire. Army supplies neck and neck. But I think he might be able to hold despite losing a lot of probes. It's still 14 to 16.
Yeah, and 5 Stalkers for herO, 4 for San, who's being chased down right now. He has to pull back. He still has his Mothership Core alive, as opposed to herO, but herO is on full chasing mode right now. He's going on the hunt. He's going to get an additional Stalker.
Dude, this has been reset.
33 supply for both players.
Exactly. The resources lost are dead even. The probe counts almost dead even for 18
oh my God,
to
that's actually
16.
scary.
This is still reset.
44 units lost for both players.
What a crazy PvP.
Well, 45.
All right. So we are basically at a reset situation, but let's take a step back and look at even tech. It's still kind of like exactly the same. Yes. Nobody has an advantage anywhere in this.
Both players have 4 gateways in total. San a little bit ahead on walkers right now, and I think herO is going to commit to some kind of attack, even though he's making probes. Oh,
can you do that?
Is he going for an expansion? He's sending a probe on his natural.
I mean, I guess he's just going to have to play it out safe because he doesn't know the full extent of his opponent's position behind that. He knows he just took a lot of damage because he had to pull probes to actually hold for the defense.
If this game was a discussion, it would be like, hey, I'm going Blink, what's up? Well, I'm going Blink too. You shall not expand. You shall not too. I attack you? Well, you're going to attack me probably, and San does, and wow, I'm really surprised that herO was able to hold as much as he got caught off guard. Yeah. He had Stalkers out of position. After he didn't force field that ramp, I thought that was it. I thought that was basically it. All the units came up the ramp. There was sentries in there, using Guardian Shield force fields. There was Immortals. There was a hallucinated Colossus that was useless. That was a big bluff.
Trade for trade, blow for blow, man. It's still 51 supply to 51. And units, 23 probes to 23 as well. So it is still absolute neck and neck here, down the line at 16 minutes. But the one important thing to note is that herO is able to sneak his Nexus out a little bit quicker. This is going to make his economy obviously a little bit stronger in comparison. But from there on out, still, San is not out of this by any means.
herO, I like what he's doing, by the way. He's moving out on the map. He's basically trying to scare San into thinking he might be attacking, but he's not. He's only Stalkers. He's kept his sentries, Mothership Core, Zealots. Immortal back at home. He's getting a... Oh, look at the production tab. Both players get a Forge at about the same time. They're both getting Immortals. What do we see next? Do they both go into Colossus? Keep in mind, they've been playing on one base such a long time that this is not a typical game. They're going to be mined out fairly soon in their main. And they still have... It's only 50 minerals difference in units lost. Can you imagine how close this game has been? This is the closest game I've ever seen.
And this exemplifies why we were like straight down the line. It's like, well, herO could win, San could win. You know, there was discussion between all the casters, etc. about it. So it really is that close. San now, it's taken a little bit of a deficit in terms of the supply, but that's because of herO just being sat nicely on these two next sides.
Something weird just happened. San was going to throw down the Robo-Bay, and then at the last second he cancelled.
Okay.
And didn't throw it down. And now herO is the first one who's going to be making the Robo-Bay.
Is he actually just going to break down those rocks and try and go for a base at the back?
Yeah, possibly. It would be a good thing to do, I think.
Yeah, because it's kind of reset to an odd situation of because the mains are mined out, you get to this spot where you're still on like one base even though you've just taken your natural. So it's kind of weird.
By the way, both of these players, they have a pretty sexy base, I have to say.
They have what, sorry?
A pretty sexy base. Like they are gateways, very nicely placed, like some kind of a wall off and all that. And San, it's funny. Like I don't know how this happened, but he was like on 60-something supply out of hundreds. So he made like a ton of pylons, and that means he's not gonna have to make them later. Oh, and San had the change of heart, where he was gonna go before for the Robo-Bay. He changed his mind. He throws down additional gateways. He's gonna go into charge lot Archon, I think.
Does he know about his opponent's Colossus number rising? This could be difficult unless he lands good time warps. This could be difficult.
You know, San is really, really good with this style.
Okay.
He's actually one of the best, I think, players at playing this style in PvP. Remember when I had to play him in WCS? We both did that style, and at 10 minutes, well, 13 minutes mark, he had like 40 more supply than me. So let's just say he knows how to use his great mechanics to always get more supply than his opponents. And going for the Stargate behind this, I actually thought this was going to be a quicker third base out of San. And basically do something like a Warp Prism, just because you're going to have more mobility with your charge loss. You warp in a lot of charge loss to your opponent's main, for example, and then if he comes and fights you, you get a good concave, you have Archons, Immortals. But in a straight-up fight, full army against your complete army against the army of your opponents, if herO doesn't take a bad fight, he will never lose to that composition. So it's going to be for San to make something special happen, take a really good fight, because when there's going to be 3 Colossi, this is going to get very, very scary for him.
A really good fight could have been just then because the Mothership Core was not with San's army. It is now coming along to help on out, but Fleet Beacon behind this goes down, so San is going to be committing to those Tempests to deal with this, but he's diversifying his tech over a very limited economy, and I'm scared that he might diversify it so much that he just gets punished by overwhelming numbers of a standard go-to play here by herO.
I wonder if herO is anticipating this. He saw the extra gateways, but he didn't see the Fleet Beacon, which is, by the way, maybe he's in a bit of a slump. Where is that hallucinated Phoenix, man? Yeah. I think he's anticipating exactly what he's up against. That's why he's going to go for an attack. He knows this is his strong timing. He has a second Colossi on the way. And it's going to be very, very hard for San to deal with this. Even though he has Archons against no Archons.
Well, he has to do something. These Zealots harassing the mineral lines. Very, very difficult. He's actually going to go for the engagement and throws down a few force fields to actually try and pin those units in, but the time warp will slow it down. Army supplies 63 to 65. Dead even, but a lot of that army is in Zealots at the back that's going to be cleaned up by this Colossus.
And +2 is going to finish in a second. San might have enough to hold back at home. And this RS here is going to be really strong. This is what I was talking about. If you fight with your entire army against your opponent's army, by the way, those Stalkers have Blink. This is not going to make it out.
Yeah, he's going to bring that down, definitely. There's no way you can leave that alive. You have to take out that threat. And then from there on out, his natural base is pretty healthy in terms of income. We have San, though. He's buying himself time to add on that first Tempest. If that gets out, it's going to put a timer on how long herO can stay in front of the base.
Going back to the Zealots being warped in across the map, he basically has charge against no charge. So he gets a free sucker punch at the start of that fight. And that's always going to be good, because it's going to be much harder for herO to defend. But in that case, herO has so much supply He's gonna do a 2-base all-in with charge loss and Archons in front. Actually, 2 Archons are gonna be there. And this is gonna be so freaking hard for San to hold.
Light army supply advantage, but can he deal with this entire concave that we're seeing set up for him? Time Warp goes down on a lot of the army here of San, and army supply is still a little bit in favor of herO, but that is being evened up as San is raining down a lot of power onto this. The 2 Colossi will end up falling. The 3rd one isn't really getting too much of a look in, and San's army just pushes him back completely.
That void ray did so much damage, man. It wasn't respected at all in this fight.
No, it certainly wasn't.
Of it, and oh my god, herO's got completely crushed. I'm a little bit surprised here.
It's desperation time as the Dark Shrine. He absolutely, he has to find some way. But the Tempest coming out, fantastic utilization of this. Really good buying of the time with the Warp Prism. Everything's lined up for San perfectly to, it comes back to how he played against MC. He's like, I'm going to force you into uncomfortable positions. If you want to take it, that's fine by me. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to be sturdy.
And man, the units lost is there's finally beginning to be a gap between both players. herO has lost quite a few more units, especially in that last fight. And he goes for a Dark Shrine. So apparently, even though he's really, really good and he scouts stuff and he adapts, he at least agrees with one of our cults in the scene.
A very strong mantra. It's a very strong mantra that needs to be harked onto. It's really, really difficult now for herO to make something happen as he's going up against a wall that is San. And with now 2 Tempest on the field, it almost negates, it completely negates this 1 Colossus. He isn't going to do a whole lot in these fights at all.
You know, it's funny, San doesn't have a single photon cannon. There is no way he's going to expect DTs, and he has a single observer. So in a scenario where his observer is picked off, and then herO goes for the robo, he basically won the game.
Yeah.
It would be a sick win here if he was able to pull it off. Look at the supply. There's so much supply behind.
The 1 observer that San has is with the army and not with the main. So he's going to get a lot of worker kills, which is a good start here for herO to bring himself back in.
Oh, the observer of herO is getting chased down. I don't think he knows that it's here. It's going to be a very hard observer to start. And look, San, he's already planned for this. He's getting an observer behind this. herO did not go for what I said. He just went for some kills on these probes to force an attack out of his opponent, but he might regret that in a second because that army looks so scary.
Yeah, very, very scary indeed. That 1 Colossus is going to have to be focused down by the Tempest. It goes to work already. The Archons can't get under the Tempest to try and deal with them because of the absolute torrent of Zealots that push them on back as the Colossus falls. There's so much firepower left here for San, who throws down the Time Warp on the rest of the army so they cannot escape. Admittedly, they're not in the best of positions. He will pull back for just a second. herO continues chasing on. It's bad times.
As sick of a hold that it is, I don't think it's gonna matter too much, because if you look at the units, herO just has so much less than San right now. 50 army supply against 23, and I think San has done it. Even though the DT did some damage back at home, it was a huge investment for herO and didn't really pay for itself. He should have committed more to the DTs. He should have completely gone all in.
San's being so patient though about this. He got the observer.
But there's already another one out on the map. And look, San here immediately cues a new one.
Well, he had to leave. He had to leave because if Dark Templars got warped in for the defense, there's nothing he can do about it. The 1 observer he has is in the main.
He's actually getting chased by a single very brave Dark Templar.
Yeah, man. There's no observer there.
This guy has 12 kills. He's the pro murderer.
He's butchered them, man. He's doing well for himself. This is really back and forth. Sam was playing it so carefully.
Sam gets a 3rd observer.
Got it.
Being a little bit paranoid here. I think he's gonna go for maybe another base. You know, he's funny. Like San stayed on his main base for the longest time. Both players. Then he mined out his main. His natural is on the way to being mined out. It's funny that they're gonna play 1 base versus 1 base until the map is mined out. We're in for a 5-hour game, guys.
Dude, this is the ultimate PvP from Wings of Liberty. It's like, we'll take 1 base, then we'll mine that out, then we'll take another base, and we'll mine that out.
And I think herO might finally be realizing that he's so far behind that there is only one thing he can do, is the thing I talked about earlier. Try and snipe the observer and play with DTs to win this. But San's not gonna let this happen. And what I really like about San's composition and his observer placement is that he follows his army with the observer. He does not put it in the group so that he goes forward and gets sniped first.
Yeah.
He got a cannon in his natural. Sands played this so well, and unless something crazy happens, he should be able to win this.
Yeah, San
I'm not going to promise a race switch here, though.
No. San had to San had to give herO so much room to get back into this game that herO is indeed looking for, and that was certainly one of the attempts by the Dark Templars. But even from this position, he's trying to get... Oh, he will get the Mothership Core in the end. Trying to get the Tempest there first.
He was going to go for the Tempest, and Tempest said, you know what? It kind of tickles.
Yeah, just turn around and smash you in the face, man. I mean, it's going to be difficult to really deal with that.
Oh, hero's going for a base trade. He doesn't even does he even have a Mothership Core at all? No.
I think this is his best option. I really do. Like, what else can... you can't engage that army. You can't defend against that army, so just go for it. He knows he's in a losing position.
Yeah, and that base, San actually knows about it on the left-hand side. Does he have a probe on the map? Oh, okay, he escapes with the probes on the top right-hand side.
Yeah.
And I guess he has some pylons on the map. Like, there is almost no way he would ever lose this. Like, it would take a lot of
Stalkers
mistakes.
intercept a lot of those probes.
We've seen sick comebacks.
We have?
In
from
two
herO.
series yesterday? Yeah, one of them from herO.
All right, well, he's going to try and continue this
he's going to get all the probes!
There's still one over on the left-hand side.
That was not supposed to happen.
Yeah, there's still one over on the left-hand side with the pylon, so he does technically have an ability to throw down other buildings if he wants to. But once the Nexus dies, no ability to throw down another Nexus.
It's the last of its kind.
It's the one probe, the one true probe. Wow. Okay, it's actually 72 army supply to 47.
Yeah. How many buildings is San gonna have left on the map?
But there's
not many.
There's 5 Immortals out for San. That's a lot of firepower.
Yeah, but this is crazy. herO has enough money to remake a Nexus out on the map. I think on the top right-hand side, this might be where he goes for it. Oh, San is only gonna have...
Whoa.
San is only gonna have one pylon left on the bottom left-hand side, and it's gonna be revealed.
Yeah, it's really well defended, though, considering the army positionings, though.
Are you kidding me?
This is gonna be really down to the wire. It's like both players have a pylon over the other side of the map, so they're gonna have to find it somehow, some way. herO doesn't have any money now to make another Nexus.
Oh, the Stalkers are getting very close to this army. I think San is gonna have to...
Oh, wait, no, he queued it up and he made it. Up the top right. Okay, so, yeah.
San is revealed right now. herO knows about that pylon on the bottom left-hand side. If he uses some nice blink or goes around with his DT, he might be able to get it. But he knows that San is gonna get in a position where this cannot happen. The thing is, a Nexus start. What are we watching?
He could actually win this. He could actually win this. If he...
You know, okay, what San has to do, he has to split his army in half so well that he can fight.
Wait, the one probe died. The one probe died, so now it's only that pylon. Could he suicide onto that and kill it?
No, I don't think it will work.
You don't?
Yeah, I think San is the one who... Basically, right now, San...
I mean, you don't want to risk it, of course.
San saw that Nexus on the top right-hand side. He's going to have to split his army in half and go for that Nexus with half and defend with the other half. But then,
dude,
a suicide could work.
If he blinks down from the high ground in the natural here and gets that, if he somehow found a way to do that with these Stalkers, then that... Because this army is way out of position. He sees how... He's going to try and move him from both sides. This is actually going to be... He needs to move back to that pylon right now. He actually needs to go to that pylon.
Even if herO doesn't win this, he actually...
He's going for it.
He's a god.
He knows he's going to try and blink down onto it and suicide it. If he gets this...
I think he's going to get it. He has a lot of Stalkers.
He goes for it. Will he be able to get that pylon? It's the last building remaining. GG! herO is able to make the recovery. What on earth is going on? How does he keep doing it here on Polar Night? Oh my God, Todd.
I don't actually know what to say. Unless you're going to get a build order win against this guy. I don't know.
Crazy. Utterly crazy stuff. What does it take to beat this man?
A build order win. Which is not going to happen often.
No, certainly. This is some impressive stuff we're seeing from herO. I really did think that was his one angle. Just go suicide onto it with those blink stalkers. You've got enough. Go down from that natural. A great move here by herO, saying, I've got my Nexus. It's going to be hard for you to ever move out. You really don't have as mobile an army as I do. Really impressive play.
These games are insane. So much happens from start to finish. Tech switches, they cancel stuff, they really try to outsmart each other. Down to the very last second. So many decisions, and decisions that you have to take in no time. And for us, you know, we might not be able to realize that. We don't see their screen, we don't see how fast they play, we have the whole vision. But these guys, they make snap calls, snap judgments in the game. And this guy in particular that you're seeing on your screen, he
He's a
very
monster.
good at making decisions.
Dude.
He's very, very good.
An absolute monster. All right, guys, we are going to go to a short break, and then when we're back, we're going to have game number 4 between herO and San.